Rio, where are you going? You haven't listened to the Shenmue AM2 podcast yet.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew.
And Matt. Hisashiburi.
I'm not sure what that means.
It means long time no see.
Ah. Punctuality. The fact or quality of being on time.
Punctuality is a sign of professionalism and helps you stand out as a reliable and trustworthy person.
Shenmue 3 came out on November 19th, 2019. It is now July 29th, 2020, the day of recording this.
What's an antonym of punctuality? What is the opposite of unpunctual?
What? Tardy?
Tardy, yeah.
So finally, The Rock has come here to review Shenmue 3.
What are you doing with your eyebrow there?
I can't do the thing.
You got something in your eye?
Facial expressions don't work that great on podcasts either. So we are here finally to do what everyone wants us to do, review Shenmue 3.
Yep.
So I finished it a very long time ago. I still took a while to play it. You took a lot longer than me, I think.
I took a lot longer, but in the end, it's still been a long time for me, too.
Yeah.
That's how late we are.
So playing it, I think we're going to kind of break this down into a few categories. Graphics, sound, dialogue, environments, training, minigames, jobs, story, characters, and gameplay. I guess we'll start it with graphics. They suffice.
They're fine.
They're fine. The environments, I thought, looked really well.
Yep.
The character models, some of the character models looked really good. Some of the character models graphically didn't look the best, especially hair and mouth. I found some of them were awkward.
Yeah. There was a weird spectrum of...
I think, that's a good way to put it. It's kind of all over the place. But the lush environments, and again, this is kind of the Shenmue 2, but kind of in reverse, where you get to see this quaint little countryside, and then you get to the hustle and bustle of Niawu.
Yeah.
What did you think of the graphics in the Niawu area?
Well, I don't know if this counts as graphics, but I was really impressed by the world design.
Yeah.
Would that count as are we counting that under graphics?
I guess it'd kind of be more environment.
Okay.
But we can kind of combine them. It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So never mind then. The graphics, they're just as pretty as the Bailu village, just in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think there's little things that kind of pulled me out. I guess is that the best way to put it.
From the graphics?
Yeah.
Besides the characters?
No, yeah, like the characters being kind of the main thing that sucked me out every once in a while. That sounded filthy. So graphics overall, they did the job.
Yep, it's not one of the low points of the game. We'll say that.
You have low points in this game? Perfect 10.
Perfect.
That car is perfect. Sunny Christmas special. It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, I don't know. Don't know it.
If you ever want to see Danny DeVito nude, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Boy,
Christmas
do
special.
I.
He's sweaty and he comes out of a leather couch. I digress. Sound for the music I thought was good.
Well, it was mostly reused music.
Yes.
So it was already good when it was used the first time.
The Pure Imagination song I liked.
It was a bit repetitive. I didn't like how the sound
cuts.
Yeah. They couldn't find a way to loop the song into itself for some reason.
Did you go to the tomato convenience store and listen to it loop?
I only stepped foot in there once or twice. So
if you're in there long enough to hear it loop, that's probably most
egregious.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. But kind of just the hustle and bustle of the world, I think, sounded pretty good.
Fighting sound effects.
fighting combat in general, I think, is definitely a low point of this game.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. What about the voices? Did you play in Japanese and English yet, or just English?
Just English. I almost want to play in Japanese with English subtitles. I listened because I kind of wanted to refresh myself on some of this for what we're recording today. So I watched the entire intro of the game and I watched the entire ending of the game. And Corey Marshall, I think, is a talented voice actor. Brianna, the girl that did the voice for Shenhua, is a professional voice actor. And there is a clear difference when you listen to the two of them talk. And it was very noticeable for me as I watched them converse with one another.
What do you mean, she's better than him? Or?
Substantially better than him, I think. But she does this professionally for like a living, and that is like she's very good at it. Not taking anything away from him, but it's kind of like she would be like, I don't know. This is not saying she's Michael Jordan, but like she's, if compared to an athlete on a sports team, that is their star player, I guess.
She's a pro, yeah.
Yeah, she's a pro.
But it's impressive anybody manages to sound good with the way the game handles the dialogue and the like weird pauses and non sequiturs and like things that don't seem to match up and flow nicely in a conversation, in a natural conversation.
Yeah, there's
which I mean happened in the old game, but
and I thought we would be at a point in time. Yeah, it's 2019. God, wouldn't we all love to go back to 2019? Yeah, 2020 has been the shits. Yeah. The dialogue, I thought there was very specific parts that sounded very bad. Unfortunately, one of those is the very start of the game.
The very first cutscene is atrocious. Yeah.
It's difficult to get through.
Yeah. Shenmue 3 doesn't make a great first impression.
No, and that's kind of, if you are gonna have a bad part, I don't think you want it to be at the start.
No.
Because I imagine there are people out there who just started this and just stopped it.
Oh yeah, for sure. People who backed it out of curiosity or whatever.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
It does get better as the game goes on, but there are parts that are definitely bad. Anytime you go to do a pawn shop, the dialogue from the pawn shop owners is, it is so bad. It's like, and it's all of them. It's just repetitive. They say the same thing, like literally sentence after sentence, multiple times.
And you couldn't skip it originally when it first came out, could you?
I don't think you could. No, there was. I'm pretty sure there was an update that allowed you to do it.
Yeah.
But like other sounds of just like the arcade games and things like that, I think they do a really good job there. But yeah, there's quite a bit of weird.
On the other hand, some of the dialogue is good. Like, I don't know, I told you about it, but I don't know if you ever went back to do it. The conversations with Shenhua that you could have.
Like the end of day, nighttime ones?
Yeah.
I didn't do any of those, so I didn't get to do like it's like a spoiler, rock, paper, scissors type thing that you unlock with like...
Yeah, I didn't care for that too much, but I mean, their conversations were pretty interesting, and it actually gave an insight into Ryo's personality and his likes and his dislikes, and same with Shenhua, you get to learn about her, but it's nice to see them talk to each other. And then there's other random conversations that are just amusing. I'm sure you've seen these clips that I put on my YouTube.
I've seen a couple of them. Why are you putting them on your YouTube? Put them on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I should. But
that's just... Pause for a sec. It's still in the episode, but I released one about playing darts because I threw 5 really good darts in a row. I think this is something we should do with the channel.
What?
Is just put out little videos every once in a while to help boost us up the YouTube Shenmue search thing. Because this episode, because we didn't do one in a while, that's kind of why I put out the darts thing.
Yeah.
Is to kind of just get us back up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Play one here. Is
my favorite NPC, and like I didn't talk to all the NPCs. I probably talked to like 10% of the stall people and stuff, but I found these two conversations with this fruit stall lady, and I'm just wondering how many more delightfully weird conversations I missed, because at every point in the game, just like the original game, when Rio has a new question to ask, every single NPC has a new answer to give.
Yeah.
So that's like a lot of options that it would take forever to see. So that's some replay value, just like the original. But anyways, let's listen to a couple of these conversations with my favorite NPC. Just turning my mic around towards my other. All right.
Excuse me.
Hello! Welcome! We have the freshest fruit in all of Nyawu. Have a look and see what's best.
Do you know anyone who's a Golden Goose VIP?
Oh, stop that, young man. I might be an old lady, but it's still rude to talk about things like that.
Huh.
Oh, sure, my bladder control's not what it used to be, but I don't need a fancy diaper to hold my pee.
That's not what I meant.
What? This isn't about potty talk? Oh, the golden goose! I heard something else.
What did she hear? What rhymes with goose?
Well, he said Golden Goose VIP, so I'm thinking all she heard was golden and pee.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I came back to her later, and here's another great exchange.
We have the freshest fruit in all of Nyawu. Do you know what's the biggest thing in my shop? My peaches. As in my butt.
I see.
All kidding aside, I have all kinds of fruit. And jokes.
That's just great.
Comedic gold.
Yeah.
Comedic gold.
But so I'm wondering how many delightful conversations like that I've missed. So that's a high point. Those kinds of things.
What do you think of the training?
Not a fan. I'm not a fan of the entire fighting system. Let's meld those two topics: training and fighting.
So for the training, I didn't mind doing the 1-inch punch. I thought that was fun. I enjoyed that. You?
I mean, a few times, but not the amount that you need to max level.
And then there was the horse stance. Mm-hmm. I had fun with that too.
It's just the amount you have to do these things.
Yeah.
And the reason you have to do these things.
And then the rooster step.
Yeah.
I will go on record saying the rooster step can fuck itself. Not a fan of the rooster step.
Also, never do it in front of that dojo in Nyawu unless you just want to listen to while you're doing your training.
That's the majority of the time where I did it.
Well, there's other places you could have done it, but yeah.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. The amount of times you need to do it is ridiculous. I kind of compared in my mind to training a single move in Shenmue 1. The only thing is in Shenmue 1,
that was optional.
It was optional, but you also were doing a different move each day if you wanted to, depending on how you did your training. This was literally the same thing over and over and over and over. And then needing to feed yourself to keep that back up kind of created a vicious circle.
Yep, and needing to buy food means you need to do jobs. But yeah, I just don't like having to train, and you basically have to train because you will get stonewalled by an opponent, and you just have to push through leveling up to get through the game, basically.
That being said, playing through the second time, you don't have to worry about any of that other than the food.
Thankfully.
Yeah, I think the second playthrough is going to be substantially more enjoyable.
Yeah. But I just don't like the combat system at all. Like, I don't like how before it was more like a fighting game, not just in how it controlled, but in the mechanics of it. Like, you got better at doing the moves, like personally. Like Rio, he got better. His animations could change, but you got better yourself by learning the timing and the range and stuff. And you could use your skill that you had built up yourself to beat the game. But in this, it doesn't matter how often you fight, really. It's just, or like how well you learn these moves yourself. Ryo has to level up or he's just going to lose.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking of it as comparing it to Shenmue 1, where Shenmue 1 really wasn't combo based, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. You were putting in a button combination to do a move. It might be like 2 punches, or like when Tom teaches you the tornado kick, where you do like kick and then kick again. Something like that I enjoyed.
Well,
this I didn't find it the same.
That's another bad thing, is they changed how moves are done. So it would be apparently be easier because it's less like a fighting game and you can just mash and stuff will happen. But that changes it so that it's so sluggish, because in a fighting game, generally the last you do a direction and then the last thing you do is hit a button and that activates the move. And all those directions didn't like wait to see what you had done with your directions, because you could have just been walking around. But if you input the directions and then hit the move, it comes out immediately. But in this, instead of like forward kick, it's square triangle. So in order for it to be able to register those 3 button presses, it needs to wait a second, like a split second, for like nothing, like after you hit the first button, nothing can happen until it knows that you're not going to hit another button.
Yeah.
So that's why it has like a little bit of a lag. It's like, square, are you going to hit another button? Yes. And like he'll be, this is like 500% speed, way slowed down. Hit a button, Ryo starts moving forward a little bit. It's not coming out immediately because it's waiting to see if you hit another button. Then you hit another button and then he's still like sluggishly going out. So like, in the end, it just feels disconnected from what you're doing.
Was there any combinations like of hitting like circle and X at the same time to do a move?
Yeah, but those are at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this game...
in this.
I don't remember. I don't think there was. I think it was all...
I don't think so.
And that's another way to do it, is if you hit a combination of buttons, like how you're saying, it knows that you've already hit that combination to do that move.
Yeah.
Matt does play way more fighting games than I do, too, and like he's far more into the technical side of it. But what you're saying is absolutely true, and it makes sense. The combat is by far the weak point. It felt like you're either hitting a brick wall or hitting nothing at all. There isn't any impact to things, it felt like.
Yeah, that's on top of how poorly it feels to play. It looks bad on top of it.
From a visual standpoint, like the actual of contact from Ryo's fist to whoever, that does not look good at all. And where they're coming from, the roots of this game being a Virtua Fighter RPG, and I really enjoyed the combat in Shenmue 1 especially, and then Shenmue 2 wasn't that much different, just the training aspect of it really kind of bummed me out. And then the fact that there's no throws.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's the worst part.
The learning new moves, there's almost too many move scrolls in the game. It doesn't make it feel of anything of substance when you get one. When in the old, like in Shenmue 1, when you got a move, or Shenmue 2 for that matter, you had to do something to get it, so carry the books or something like that, or carry the books so many days in a row and get so many out. Or there was a couple in a shop that you could buy, but it was like 5. Or in Shenmue 1, it was like 6 or whatever. But you needed to save your money to get the expensive ones. There was context to it. It felt like I was achieving something. Or you would learn from, the homeless guy or Tom, and learning those moves felt like I was Ryo. Like I was not only progressing through the story of the game, but progressing Ryo as a martial artist. I didn't get that vibe in this whatsoever. I didn't enjoy it.
Just probably the most disappointing part of the game is the combat / level up / stamina system.
What did you think of the mini games?
They're fine. I found myself not playing them that much, not out of
Not even Highway Star?
A few times.
Did you beat Highway Star?
No.
Highway Star.
I found myself not playing them much just because, well, I was trying to finish the game for the review, and also I didn't want to use my money because there's a few times where
There's some big paywalls in there.
Yeah, there's some big paywalls, and you just need to have money on you in case you run out of food. You need to buy more food.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to. I wasn't very liberal with my money spending. It's very frugal.
I loved Highway Star. Whack-A-Mole was fun.
Yeah, all the games were fine. I just didn't feel I could play them.
Just be sick here. I get some notes.
I would have much preferred classic arcade games, though.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And what kind of really bums me out is you see the Virtua Fighter posters, and you're like, why isn't that here?
It's in Yakuza.
Yeah, it is. Yakuza has Virtua Fighter 5 Gold or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Lucky Hit felt a little floaty for me.
Mm-hmm.
Turtle and Frog races were tiring for me.
Yeah.
Like, literally, hitting the button.
It's like the old arm wrestle in Shenmue 2.
Yeah. Now, doing the frog and turtle racing, absolutely go talk to the fortune teller, the color fortune teller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that only lasts for a little while, and then you have to go, renew your fortune. And it's not a guarantee.
Yeah. But it does definitely increase your odds.
Yeah.
Flower, Bird, Wind, and Moon.
I found I didn't need to increase my odds with turtle racing. I could win every time just through hitting the button. But yeah, I would kill my wrist.
Yeah, no, it's substantially easier, though, if you know what frog or turtle pick. Flower, Bird, Wind, and Moon. If you go to the color fortune teller and play that, you're going to make money very easily. It's definitely a way to kind of grind out some cash.
I just didn't have any patience for the whole go to the fortune teller, do a game, buy token. No, go to the fortune teller, use money to buy tokens, play a game a bunch of times, get a bunch of prize tickets or whatever, exchange them for prizes, go try to keep track of what sets you need, go to the pawn shop and sell the sets, etc. Repeat. I hated that loop, and
it's a long loop. Even you tripping over your words just trying to explain it demonstrates how long and tedious it is.
It's I didn't like it, yeah.
Did you play the Miracle Shooter basketball game?
I probably did. I don't remember it.
I just think it was really weird the angle the camera was at. Why couldn't it just be straight behind him or above him or something?
It was below, was it?
No, it was off to the side. If your computer monitor is the net and it's moving across, he's over here looking directly at it, but the point of view of the camera is not directly at it.
It wasn't conducive to depth perception.
Goose catching, just the
chicken
QTEs
catching,
or whatever they are. The QTEs are way too fucking tough on those.
Every entire game, yeah. I hope they change that. I don't know if they have changed that, but it's brutal. I don't think there was a single QTE sequence that I didn't have to fail nearly every one before I could get through it.
Yeah, it's way too tough.
Yeah.
But it being tough, if it wasn't tough, you would never get to see Ryo get hit in the face with a fire extinguisher, which is the best Shenmue moment I think I've ever had. Seeing him get drilled in the face with that was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I laugh every time. Nice Golf was kind of weird. Same idea as the basketball. We had to chip shot it into the tube or whatever. Just the angle you're at it's not good.
You said you didn't fish any, huh?
I did not fish at all. I wanted to save something for the second experience.
Yeah.
And that's for me was fishing, because I know there's some side quests and stuff associated with it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure there was still something
special
new.
Jacket you can get.
A new jacket? Ooh.
Yep. A fishing jacket.
Oh, Malibu Stacy has a new hat. And Whack-A-Mole was fun. I like how it was laid out compared to the controller, so you kind of knew what was what without having to think about it.
Yeah, it was pretty intuitive.
And then obviously you have your QTE title. QTE Excite or whatever.
Which you didn't like as much, the QTE title, right?
Yeah, they changed it up and there's like more fakesies in it, like, yeah, which once you're used to doing something for so long, 18 years or 19 years or whatever, it's when that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
Highway Star was great. Did I mention Highway Star?
Yes, you have.
Fuck, Highway Star. What other... Oh, the Virtual Fighter game with the Chobu guy.
I don't think I played that at all.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. You could unlock prizes if you did them all in a day or whatever. It was weird. I'm just trying to think if there was any other... Oh, the Pale Toss.
Oh, yeah.
That was weird.
I couldn't figure that one out.
It's tough to, again, because of the angle of the camera and like the fact that the arrow keeps changing, it's really hard to judge depth in it. And there was no darts in this game.
Disappointing.
If there was one mini game that needed to be here, it was darts.
And there's no reason it couldn't have been, yeah.
Yeah. Even Excite darts. I would have... Or was that... What was it called? Dart 7 and... Neo darts.
Neo darts.
Yeah.
You hated Neo darts.
Stupid wrist thing.
I'm drunk.
That's not how... Say it.
That's how Rio is drunk.
But if someone else is drunk in that game...
I'm gonna throw these darts. I am a moron.
What do you think of the jobs?
So what do we got? We got forklift.
I didn't do a whole lot of the forklift. The routes weren't varied enough for me, and there's no race.
Yeah.
And I found the route was very tight.
Yeah, it was very
I couldn't take wide corners. It was, it wasn't enjoyable. It didn't have the utspa of the original.
It's chopping wood.
Fuck. When you get to that, like, Van Halen music. That's not Van Halen. That's Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would get so like in the zone chopping wood.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it when you get that. It does seem like there is a little bit of randomness, and I did remember that there is a trick to, unless it is, I can't remember how it was, you can just mash X to chop unless the log is in two specific spots. Then you can't, but it seems very random when you get a excellent split or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's just the payout isn't worth it. I found the only worthwhile thing to do was picking herbs, which is tedious, but you get a lot of money. And
they're they don't replenish.
And you can only do it once. But
I think it's weird how the herbs you can only do once, because depending on how you combination the herbs when you sell them, there's things that you might not be able to get. Now, I don't know if those things are exclusively available through the herb pawn shop or whatever it is, which is weird when you say it out loud. But yeah, I wish they did replenish, maybe at a very slow pace,
like a whole in-game month or something.
Or yeah, like even a few days. But it did kind of, I don't know, it made it feel a little weird that you can't, like, it's a finite thing. Once it's done, it's done. You can't do anything more with it, I guess. It was neat that there was herb maps. I thought that was a cool way to kind of, so you didn't miss any.
Yeah.
And I think they implemented that because they did realize how important it is to get them if there is a finite amount of them, because some of them are substantially more rare than others. What other jobs were there?
Well, you could man the lucky hit stand, couldn't you? Could you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I mostly relied on herbs. That's about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, the jobs, not super great.
Would you rather chop wood or move crates? Like from Shenmue 2, move crates.
I think I'd rather chop wood.
Yeah.
But I want a better payout.
Yeah. I want Shenmue 1 forklift money for chopping wood in Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
What did you think of the characters in the game?
I
didn't find any as memorable.
No.
I couldn't tell you their names.
No.
The way you just randomly bump into Ren, I think it was odd.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm realizing we are sounding very negative about this. Everything it's critiquing. We're not providing a whole lot of...
We started off with the graphics.
Yeah.
Positive.
My brain just totally shut off here.
But the characters, yeah. It was nice to see Ren again, and there was a few moments where he felt like Ren.
Talking about Niao-san's boobs. Look at the pear on her.
Yeah.
And it cracked me up hearing him say that.
You didn't get to hang out with him enough.
There was a couple side quests you could do with him.
I missed them both. Like, I couldn't figure out what he wanted me to do, really. And then I ran out of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something you do with him. It's something you do for him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that you could miss things.
Yeah.
Like there was one for buying a kid a mask or something, and I didn't do it, and then I went back and talked to him again. He's like, "Oh, you didn't get it for me," and that was the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go back and do it again, but it seemed like that was just done by the wayside.
Was there one for Shrine Lady too? You had to go grab something that was stolen. I don't think I did that.
I'm not sure.
But I think all the time sensitive missions, I think I didn't do them in time.
Yeah. So character wise, at the end when you kinda, again spoilers, when you go to the fortress or whatever it is, or the castle, you have the girl with the broom.
Not memorable.
You have the chubby guy.
Not
who
memorable.
Taught you how to fight. You had...
I'd say the only memorable character is the old dude who lives in the shrine, and he's only memorable because he's so damn annoying.
Which old guy? Like the drunk guy?
The wine and buns guy.
The wine and buns guy?
Yeah. Like, he's the only character who made an impression on me, like, that I'm gonna remember for years to come, probably.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Wine and bun guy.
Yeah.
Old WB.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chance encounter with Ren at the start of like, oh, hey, Ren. It was like their relationship didn't mean anything before that, of just how casual they sounded towards one another.
Yeah.
I don't know. The characters themselves, and again, maybe when I play through the second time and talk to them more often, because that's kind of what I plan on doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about the economy of the game as much.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll kind of just... And again, we've only played through this one time. So we're basing this initial impression off of just that one playthrough. But yeah, I want to see more interaction with Ren, and...
Definitely talk to Shenhua more.
Absolutely,
in the beginning of the game. Yeah. Is that it for characters? I mean, Niao-san has a memorable design, but she's barely there, so she's not very memorable.
Okay, so... Just not to sound chauvinistic or anything, or weird about this, but the boobs. When she's undercover as that other lady, they don't look nearly as big. I was watching, like, refreshing myself. Everything I'm saying sounds so filthy right now. But I was watching all of the Niao-san cutscenes today,
including when she was disguised.
Yeah. And like it doesn't.
I forgot she was disguised.
It doesn't look like the same person.
Yeah, I know. It's a very good disguise.
Yeah, but her motivations, I don't know. We'll get to that in the story part. Anything else, like, before we hop into the actual story part that you want to touch on? Chobu hunting is a great side quest.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
The thing is, I find when I got into it, I would go into it in spurts and be like, all right, this whole vendor alley, I'm going to find all of them.
Is there any way to tell if you've already found the Chobu at a specific stand? Because I've lost track of where I had.
Yes, you get the cards. But I think it's weird because if you sell the card, I think it goes out of your inventory. It doesn't show that you've already found it, which I would love for it to just be kind of like grayed out or something, or translucent, showing that you had it and that you found it, because it would be impossible to keep track. Like, do you have to go find it again, and which stand was it? And like, yeah, I wish that didn't happen. Anything else before we hit the story?
Nope.
The story, I think, barely moved.
Yeah.
It barely moved the dial.
I've heard this whole game described as a filler episode of a TV show, and I would agree. I think if Shenmue 4, 5, whatever, get made, I think it'll turn out that you could remove 3, almost everything in 3, and nothing would change for the story that comes afterwards. I'm betting. That's what it felt like, at least. Because, I mean, Ryo is in the same spot he was at the beginning of the game, at the end of the game.
There isn't a whole lot of new information. Mm-hmm. It's a fetch quest to find her dad.
Yeah.
To find Shenhua's dad is, I think, a great way to kind of summarize it. Mm-hmm. I really, really wanted... This was an opportunity. Mm-hmm. This came about as a Kickstarter. He had the opportunity to create a game that the public put up their money for, and I really don't think the story moved nearly as far as it should have. No. And keep in mind, the original Kickstarter goal only being $2 million, and we got it to almost $7 million. There was new investment along the way. Like, where would this have been without all of that?
Shudder to think.
Yeah, I really, really wanted to see the story move on more.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple little things you pick up on along the way. And James Reimer, that we had here on the podcast, he did a video about how people are kind of disappointed that the story didn't move along as much, but there are a lot of little hints along the way.
There's a couple things you learn about Ryo's dad from, like, that old master, but
even the little hints only give you foreshadowing as to what may or may not happen. Mm-hmm. But the story still only goes to a certain point.
Yeah. And Ryo doesn't really grow at all.
No.
I don't think. I mean, he learns a couple moves that look almost identical, but that's back attack move. And I saw recently somebody suggested he should have used that move on Lan-Di, and I agree. Like, he should have got, like, instead of attacking Lan-Di and not being able to touch him, like has always been the case, he should have used that new move that he learned and got a hit in on Lan-Di, and Lan-Di's, like, cool, calm demeanor cracks.
A bit.
Just like, what just happened? Like, this guy surprised me. Like, he's no longer just an annoyance. Like, he's an actual threat. Like, that would have been great. It would have showed some growth. It would have felt like we had actually done something in this game. Like, we'd progressed Ryo instead of him just being unable to do anything to Lan-Di. Like, fine. Like, after Ryo gets that one hit in, Lan-Di can destroy him. But yeah, nothing happened, man.
The whole Chai experience early on in the game really was lackluster. You don't actually get to fight him, do you?
Like, in a free-form fight?
In a free-form fight, there might be a little bit here and there, but like, you finish him off with a QTE.
Yeah.
That was a wasted opportunity. I thought the Chai model looked a little weird in this game, too. I
didn't want to see him back, really. I thought, like, he's come back from the dead, quote-unquote, too many times. It's stretching believability.
The whole part when you get to the end, and there's those 3 guys that are there with Lan-Di, and, like, Ryo takes out the first one, and, like, these are Lan-Di's guys. Like, they're his elite bodyguards. And when Ren's like, hold on, I got the second one. And the guy's like, whoa, whoa, making all these stupid kung fu noises, and then Ren just kicks him in the face.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why? I don't need a comedic part here. This is the climax of this fucking game.
That would have been great earlier in the game somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't need it here.
Yeah.
And then you have the third guy that comes out, and Ryo does his move or whatever. And then you fight Lan-Di.
Yeah, those dudes shouldn't have even been in the room. It should have been just Ryo and Lan-Di.
Yeah, maybe a room before that where, like, Lan-Di you see him leaving to the next room, and you fight those 3 guys, and then you reach Lan-Di. The fact that there was barely any fighting actually against Lan-Di, that only lasts for, like, 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I've been waiting fucking 18 years to do 30 seconds of combat.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. It was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah. Like a lot of the game was.
Yeah.
Speaking of those final few fights, though, I liked fighting all the Kickstarter backers before that.
Yeah.
Like the NPCs like that paid to have their likeness on a character. I'm pretty sure that was that.
Well,
Like,
I
you're going
got
up all the
there and
stairs.
I got there and I'm like,
These guys look weird.
I'm like, that's Pete Campbell, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm fighting Pete Campbell right now. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
but yeah, story disappointing.
Yeah.
That's probably the saddest part.
It is. I really want to see this conclude some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it will. I hope it will. But the story did not move anywhere near as far as I think people were expecting.
Yeah.
You literally, at the start of Shenmue 3, or the end of Shenmue 2, you're like, oh, where's Shenhua's dad? And by the end of Shenmue 3, you're like, oh, we have Shenhua's dad. And then Ryo shows him the picture. He's like, oh yeah, that guy died under mysterious circumstances. Was it Iwao? Just tell me. Give me something.
Yeah.
They did allude to the fact that when he's talking about carving the stones and stuff, and Shenhua's like, it wasn't just my dad, it was his grandfather and possibly his grandfather. So there's some sort of time frame as to once this reaches a certain point, Ryo shows up, he shall appear, blah, blah, blah. Just give me more of that, please.
After the floating sword, there wasn't much supernatural in this.
They didn't even show the floating sword in this. And in Shenmue 2, when they touch the floating sword at the same time, they just pick it out and the two of them jam it in that thing in the tower, no problem.
Yeah.
There's no, all of that thing is gone. Yeah. I think they really kind of went more towards the realism, and that is, I think, one of the good things about waiting 18 years. Is you get that feedback of what people liked and what people didn't like.
You think he heard that they don't like supernatural aspects and he pulled back on it?
I think so, because they intentionally didn't show it in the cave.
But then it's just weird to pretend it didn't exist, pretend it didn't happen.
Shenhua's in different clothes. There's a lot of things.
Are you saying Shenmue 3 is in an alternate universe?
Yeah. It's in a multiverse. There's multiple Shenmues happening at one time, Matt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, any other topics?
What would you score it out of 10?
If you would ask me right when I beat it last year, I probably would have said...
No, hold on. Back up. You didn't beat this game last year.
Did it take into this year?
Absolutely, you took into 2020.
Okay, whatever. Back when I beat it, if you had asked me, it probably would have been 7.5. But the passage of time has not been kind to Shenmue 3. The more I think about it, the more I'm disappointed. So I got to drop it down to a 6.
I would say in the range of... I'll give it a 6.5. I don't think it's a 7. There's too many things that need to be improved.
Yeah.
If they were to announce a Kickstarter for Shenmue 4 today, would you donate what you did again?
No. I'd donate the basic to get the game. That's about it.
Would you donate to get enough to get a physical copy of the game, or just digital?
Just digital. If it's the $30 digital edition again, I'd do that.
That's it. I see. I think I would still feel intrigued to do.
It depends on how good the pitch is.
Yeah.
If they're like, we really learned from our past mistakes, we promise the next one will be way better, and we're going to change this and this and this, then yeah, sure, I could donate more. But if it's just like, hey, we're doing Shenmue 4, it's going to be a lot like Shenmue 3, I'll be like, here's $30.
Yeah. What do you think of your reward of your chibi figure?
I liked it. It was fun to find myself in the game, and the guest book signing. That was fun.
I had a great time reading through the guest book. I had a great time.
All the fan stuff I really liked. Like, I didn't mind it being there. It didn't pull me out of the game.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I had a great time finding my Dice Dude thing. I'm not sure they understand how alphabetical order works, because it was weird. Like, some people first name, some people last name, I think. There wasn't a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long to find myself. There's a lot of things to collect in this game, too. So many. A lot of it doesn't, make a whole lot of sense. Like, when you had the Virtua Fighter characters, you had everyone from Virtua Fighter 1, then everyone from Virtua Fighter 2. This is here's 19 different vases, or vases, or however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, the collectibles weren't as fun.
No. And some of the rare ones are really rare. Like Dream Casco level rare. So I think that about wraps it up. I'm going to play through the game again, and I think I'm going to enjoy it more the second time.
You're going to do Japanese?
I may do Japanese.
You should. You might as well.
And it won't, the economy won't take me out of the game as much. I don't have to worry about it as much. It's literally just have enough.
Well, you're still going to run into those 2 paywalls of $2,000 and $5,000.
Those are easy, if you know what you're doing.
They're just annoying.
Yeah. You refused to save scum that last one too, didn't you?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think I saved. I'm fine with save scumming. It's just I hate how long it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with save scumming, yeah.
Fire extinguisher to the face. That's, I think, how we have to wrap this up. I'm internally grateful that Shenmue 3 happened. I'm glad that the HDs happened. There's still a few more episodes we got in us at least. Talk about stuff. Neither of us touched the DLC yet.
No, I didn't even buy it. Yeah. You can tell me about it.
You have to buy it.
No.
Yes. I can't believe you're not going to buy it.
There's only one bit that's story related, isn't there?
I don't care. It's Shenmue 3, Matt.
Yeah, but I just gave it a 6. I really my enjoyment level is not on the positive side. It's
6 is above 5. It's on the positive side.
Okay. Well, maybe I should lower the score. Maybe I should say 5.
I think if I could get inside your head for a minute, I think when you play video games, what's something you're playing right now? Just anything that you're playing and liking.
I just finished Last of Us 2.
Okay. No spoilers. I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I think in your brain you're like, The Last of Us 2, and you really liked it and enjoyed it. I think in your brain you're like, if I play Shenmue 3, I'm not playing The Last of Us, which I would enjoy more.
Well, yeah.
And I think you have this value-based...
Well, it's because
what you're going to get out of it.
It's because I don't have a lot of game time. That's self-imposed. I feel guilty if I game too much.
You don't have kids.
I don't, but I have a wife who needs my love and attention. Yeah. And I need to take care of my body and not be a couch potato.
Yeah, I don't know. Shenmue 3, enjoyed it. Glad we have it. Our next episode of the podcast is going to be not about Shenmue. We are going to, kind of
Let's
about
change
Shenmue.
our name.
Kind of about Shenmue afterwards when we compare it to something.
Yeah.
Well, Matt and I are going to review Streets of Rage 4. Maybe a bit more upbeat of an episode. Who knows?
You will have to wait and see.
So you can see us on the social medias at Shenmue AM2 Pod on Twitter, Shenmue AM2 Podcast at gmail.com, youtube.com/Shenmue AM2 Podcast. We're on Facebook. We have a page and a group. We're trying to be more active. This episode will be out soon. Actually, it's already out by the time you're listening to it. I'm saying this. I don't understand how time works. I don't understand time. So yeah, we'd like to thank our sponsor this week, The Drunken Panda.
This is my favorite store.
The Drunken Panda's in China. You're in Japan.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, guys.